Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health is our number one priority. Join us as we explore the unseen and allow curiosity to become our guide. With your host, Liam Muniz. Enjoy. Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health is our number one priority, featuring your host, Liam Muniz. So y'all, this is actually the second time that I recorded, quote unquote, the episode 17 for Phoenix Healing, just as a way of me coming back and, getting back into making my episodes. And I don't think I'm gonna post the first one that I recorded. There's nothing wrong with it, I feel like I spoke some really good things, but I feel like that message was more for me. And it was about introspection and gratitude. And lately, I've been feeling a lot of crazy energy. Like, there'll be moments when I'm like super confident and comfortable, and I'm like, yes, I'm loving life. And then there's other moments where I'm like questioning myself, and I'm feeling confused, and I'm feeling uncomfortable. And I'm someone who, I'm not religious in any way, but I do apply spiritual practices into my life. And I do hold a big belief of faith, that when you have faith, things will always work out. And so I do a lot of prayers. And throughout these prayers, I've been asking, like, why am I being placed in these moments of confusion? Why am I feeling these emotions all over again? The ones that I have identified, the ones that I've sat with already. And I've been reminded that healing is not linear. And this is exactly what I said in the other episode that I haven't posted, that healing is not linear. It takes time. And I feel like that's something that I need a reminder on. And maybe you need a reminder, or someone out there needs a reminder, that these emotions, these people, these places, these things that cause you to feel chaotic or confused or uncomfortable, they're gonna come up over and over and over. And it's not something that's gonna cease coming up just because you identified and just because you're like, oh, I understand it now. You can understand something, but God is going to continue to test you, or universe or spirit, whatever resonates with you. They're going to continue to test you so that you master your creations, you master your discernment, you master this healing process, you master patience, you master intuition, you master self-love, self-appreciation. We got the baby coos in the background. And sometimes that's difficult for me to completely sit with, because through this introspection and these moments of introspection, I've realized that I feed off of the energy of I don't want to say self-hatred, because that's a really powerful thing to say, but just lack of self-acceptance. That's a better way to put it. I feed off of that. And the reason, and what I mean by that is I create this space where, I view myself in a higher light, and I'm like, you know what? I think you can do better. I think you can do more. And once I reach that better and I reach that more, I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is enough. Let's do more. So it's always me not acknowledging and accepting that where I am, all of the healing that we've done, all of the uncomfort and the pain and those moments where we had to just release emotions on our own and feel all these things, that has been more than enough. But I constantly tell myself that it's not enough, that you have to do more. Like, you're not doing enough. You're wasting time. And that's another thing that God has been reminding me. Time does not matter. There is this analogy that I heard where time is this aquarium, time is the ocean, and we are the fishes in the life within it. So it's not that the ocean or the water is changing or moving or doing any of these things. It's us who are changing and moving and growing and creating, right? So it's not time that we need to hold on to or feel that it's moving or we're losing it. It's us. When we are not present, when we are not in the moment, we are losing that present moment. And so it's going to feel like we're losing quote unquote time, but it's not time. It's just our focus, right? Our energy isn't in the present moment. So it's going to feel like we're losing something, like we're losing that. And that's something that I realized within myself, that especially after my pregnancy and now having my baby here and stepping into this brand new role, I've almost like revealed this whole layer of insecurities that I was already in the process of healing, but now they've come out even more than before. You know, now they're way in the forefront and I can't ignore them because it's something that I feel that, I don't know, I'm more vulnerable now, being in a position of a mom and being in a position of having to literally care for a child as a single parent now. And it's like, it feels more vulnerable. It feels like I have to push myself, but the way that I've been pushing myself isn't through that love. You know, it's been through that ideal that you are not enough, so you have to do more, so you have to build more, so you have to show up more. And I've seen this, I think it first started with my body. I've always had some form of difficulty and challenge with accepting my body. And so throughout my teenage years and just growing up, adolescence, whatever, I've always objectified and sexualized myself to the point where I didn't really view my body as my body. You know, I viewed it as just something to look at. I viewed it as almost like bait, you know. I viewed it as the only value that I held during that time. And healing this and coming out of the pregnancy transformation, my body has changed a lot. And that's something that I've had to accept, but it's also brought up those insecurities all over again. So now God is really asking me, I'm asking myself now, in what ways are we positioning ourselves in these spaces of vulnerability and challenge? And in what ways are we taking it on? Are we taking it on in a defensive mode, or are we gonna take it on in a nurturing position? And I'm obviously gonna lean more towards the nurturing because I truly believe that in order for us to heal and become the greatest version of ourselves, it's not about disciplining yourself with negativity or constantly like just critiquing yourself and judging yourself so that you're better because, oh, right now you're not doing enough. No, it's about understanding that we are all undoing conditionings that are extremely difficult to undo. If hold on, he threw me off. If we are doing it on our own, and healing is an interpersonal thing, like having community, having a family there, having friends there, having your soul tribe, absolutely that's going to help you and it's going to push you even further. But at the end of the day, it's you who has to choose and decide that, you know what, I do want to become greater. I do want to love myself more. I want to accept myself more. I want to be more. I want to do more. I want to live more. And I've been in this energy so much because I've been looking at these past videos of just me like making podcast videos and making content, and I'm like, I can't even recognize myself. Like the energy is there. You can feel my passion through those videos. You can feel my focus. You can feel this sense of confidence and self-acceptance. And now that I'm going through that same cycle of almost like internal insecurities and that self-worth and all of these things, to remind myself that I am changing, I'm growing, but those core values, that core self, that core being of who I am is still here. I still have that passion. I still have that confidence. I still have that self-acceptance. But because I've gone through all of these motions and all of these energies, sometimes we lose that. We lose that sense of belonging to ourselves. And it's challenging. And it sucks sometimes and it doesn't feel good. And I feel like that's why I wasn't meant to post the last episode, because in the last episode, I just sat here and I tried to embody the same energy that I was in the past. And the thing is that who I showed up as in those other videos, it's different than who I am now, but it still has the I am core in it. Some of you are really going to catch on to that, my spiritual gals. And it might go over your head, but to explain it a little more, it's like those core beliefs of who you are, that authenticity, that originality, that is the I am. You know, that is why you are not your emotions. I am not my emotions. My emotions come and go. But who you are internally, your core self, your most authentic self, that is something that is never going to change. And as you are evolving, it's going to come out more because it's already there. You know, it's already there, that magic, that essence, that originality, that authenticity. It's already there in your core. And what healing is doing is you're removing those layers of conditioning and removing those layers of labels and all of these expectations that were thrown at us that aren't a reflection of who we are, not a reflection of the core self. And so I was looking at those old videos and I'm like, damn, like, I want to embody that energy again. I want to be that same self. So then I was like trying to dress the same that I did in the past. And I'm like, I don't even feel comfortable in this anymore. Or I was trying to like, I was thinking like maybe I should cut my hair again. Maybe that's what gave me that essence, that confidence, that energy. But it's not. It wasn't. It's just in that present moment, who I was then, that was my mode of expression, depending on, you know, what point of my healing journey I was on. And now I'm in a completely different season, you know. This is a completely new beginning, and so I'm going to want to express in different ways, in different forms. And that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not that same person. I'm just a different version of my core self. I'm a different version of my authenticity. You are seeing more of it now, you know. And so going through these moments of vulnerability and feeling like maybe I'm not enough, or I need to do more, or I'm running out of time, or this and this and that, and all this negativity and self-doubt, that's a reflection of healing. That means that I'm feeling on these layers of myself that don't feel comfortable because they don't belong with me anymore. And just like, you know, when you buy a new pair of shoes or something, you have to break them in first. They're gonna feel uncomfortable at first, so you have to get used to them. You have to feel them out. You have to allow them to mold to fit you authentically, to fit your shape, to fit your comfort, you know. And that's the same thing as healing. That's the same thing as evolving. You have, my cat is like, let me in. You have to be okay with starting over, because change, yes, it can feel scary, but it's not a scary thing, because what change is doing, change is revealing who you are. The more that you open yourself up to change, the more that you are allowing your true authentic self to reveal itself, to come out, to express, to explore, to love. And it's going to feel uncomfortable because we're not used to that. We're used to being in this box. We're used to, you know, staying in these spaces of conditionings and expectations. Those expectations thrown on you have nothing to do with you. They literally do not define you, not a single bit. Not a single bit. They don't matter. So it's like, when we are going through these motions and these seasons, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Those emotions from the past are going to come back up. Those perspectives are going to come back up. That self-doubt is going to come back up. And it's not that you're taking a step back or you're not doing enough. It is that God, universe, spirit, whatever resonates with you, is trying to ask you, do you remember who you are? Do you remember who you are? Your core self, your most authentic self. Do you remember? Are you still there? Can you still hold on to that? Can you bring it forth? Because that is the energy that we need. That is the soul that we need. That is your purpose. Okay? That is the passion that we need. That is the love that we need. That is the words and the expressions that we need. It is your core self. And in order to allow your most authentic, most confident, brilliant self to come out, is through change. You have to accept change. You have to be okay with starting over. And by starting over, again, I'm going to repeat this. It's not that you're taking steps back. It's not that you're no longer enough. It's not that you're going all the way back down to rock bottom. It's that you are now in a new energy, and you are allowing that energy to surface in a way where you have to learn it first before you know how to express it. It's allowing yourself to become an apprentice again, an apprentice to God, to spirit, to universe, whatever resonates with you. It's becoming that role again. And coming into this role as a mom, it's like I came in with my past energy and the sense of, you know what, I got this, like, period. And yeah, I've been doing really, really well, but it's also been these moments of challenge where I've had to remind myself, like, hey, this is new for me. This is new change, and this is a big change. And I need to bring that core self back out, because that is the energy that I need right now in order to continue to evolve, in order to reveal more of myself. And every bit of change, every new experience, it's gonna reveal more of your most brilliant energy. And it's beautiful, and it's very difficult, yes, because it's going to continuously come up. That negativity, that chaos, that weight, it's going to continuously come up until you master being you, until you remember who you are so much that nothing and no one can ever define you again. I really like, oh, and I got a confirmation bird. That's what I'm talking about. Like, let's talk about it. Because I really like that, actually. We're gonna repeat that. That sense of feeling like other people define you, or your emotions define you, or your thoughts define you, or your environments define you, or your circumstances define you, or your children define you, or your family defines you, or your culture defines you, right? There's so many aspects to this life, so many aspects to our reality, that we have to learn how to detach from that and distinguish who I am apart from everything else that is around me. Who am I? Who am I to my core? Do I remember who I am? That is what this life is all about. When we are going through these changes, these moments of evolution, it's not to make you feel that you are not enough. It's not to make you feel that you have to do more and be more and all of these crazy things, all these expectations. It's to teach you to master the remembrance of you. Who am I to the core? Without these labels, without the expectations, without the people around, who am I? And that is what's going to continuously come up through every cycle that you go through these generational curses and heavy emotions and experiences that put you in the lowest parts of your experience. The one thing that will remain consistent is who you are. So listen to that voice. Every time you feel these emotions and these thoughts again, that you're like, you know what, I thought I got over this. Like, why is it coming back up? Listen. Stop for a moment and just listen. Do not define yourself as these emotions. Do not define yourself as this pain or your form of suffering. Define this as a moment of opportunity for you to learn, wait, who am I right now? Remember who you are, okay? You need to consistently come back to yourself. When there's moments of chaos, you need to stop in that stillness. I posted a video about this before, where in those moments of silence is when you get the answer to your prayers. That answer is coming from your core, from the core self, from the true self, from the most authentic self. That is the soul, that is the energy that is going to consistently come up every time you face something. When you're in a situation where it feels chaotic and you're like, I can't do this anymore, like this is too much. Take a moment to just pause, to breathe, and remind yourself, this is not who I am. I'm not these circumstances. I'm not my environment. I'm not these emotions. I'm not my thoughts. I'm observing them. I'm observing them until I'm strong enough to remember who I am. Until I'm strong enough to remember that I am more than these emotions and these thoughts and these circumstances. And I will get out of this, and I will overcome this. And yes, there will be challenges, but there is nothing that you cannot overcome as long as you believe. Okay? You need to believe in yourself. And y'all, like, after filming that episode that I'm not even gonna upload, I mean, like, I think it was more for me, but after filming that, I took a moment to pause, and I'm like, like, I literally did all the editing. I took the clips out that I was gonna post. I even ended up posting it, and I archived it, because I'm like, I just got this feeling that this isn't who I am. This is a reflection and a projection of this idea that I have to constantly be creating, that I have to constantly be moving in order to be valuable. This is a projection of that ideal and perspective that if I'm not making something, that I am not worthy of good things, that I am not valuable, that people are not going to love me anymore, that people are not going to, hold this space for me anymore. That was a projection of my wounds. And so I had to take a moment to pause and say, you know what? This is not who I am. That is not the core of who I am. That is a wound that I need to heal. That is that idea that people are going to abandon me because I feel that I am not enough. And I'm feeling like these emotions bubble up because I don't think I've ever really expressed this aloud, where it's like, I would constantly create and do and do and do and try to like express everything that's on my mind and everything that I feel is different in some way, or people would want to hear, because I felt that if I didn't, that I wasn't valuable. I have to take a little pause. Oh, you're okay. Okay, we're back. I had to take a little pause to feed my son, but where was I? Yeah, where I would constantly feel that if I wasn't constantly producing, that I wasn't valuable, that I wasn't worthy. And that's a conditioning and a wound that I've had to, constantly remind myself that this is not your reality. This is not who you are. You don't have to constantly be creating in order to be valuable or worthy of good things. The I am, the core of you is what is valuable. The core of you is what brings all of the value to the table. Like, the core of you is the table. Let's put it as that. There is no value, there is no reality, there is no expression, there is no art, there is no beauty without the core of who you are, without your most authentic being, without your soul. My son most definitely just farted. Okay. Are you pooping? I think he's pooping. Anyway, you see, like, this is what makes life fun. This is what makes life enjoyable and real, man. It's not about what you are producing. It is not about what you are working. It's not about your career. It's not about the money. It's not about the materials. It is about your most authentic self. Without any of these things, without the materials or the money or the community or any of the things, who are you? Who is that core self that cannot be detached no matter what is happening? That is your purpose, to find that out. And once you find that out, you're already living in your purpose, and you do whatever the hell you want to do. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that I've been going through this transformation and being reminded, like, hey, although we are evolving, it's okay that you are changing your mind on what you want to do. It's okay that you no longer want to express the way you used to express, and people love that version of you. It's okay, because the version of you that true people and true souls are actually going to love and connect with is the most authentic version of you, and that is the core of you. That is the literal you that will not change no matter what you are experiencing. That is the energy. That is the expression of truth, of love, of God and universe and spirit and all of the beautiful things, okay? And I'm really glad that I took the time to pause and make this video, because I've been realizing that this is my passion. I love to sit and talk about the introspection and the psyche and all of the internal things, right? I just love that. It brings me life, like, it exhilarates me. And I don't want that to be taken away. I don't want to water it down by just creating content just because I want to stay relevant. I'm not going to do that, because that's not living in who I am. That is living in the expectations of who I should be as a person who creates content and connects with people. That is not who I am, though. I want to create quality work. I want to create things that are coming from my soul, that are coming from the core of who I am. And not just, an expression of blah, blah, blah for my brain just because I want to remain, likable. The right people are going to like you when you're ready to express who you are. The right people are gonna like who you are. Okay, they're gonna like that I am that you are bringing, because the I am that you are bringing is the most authentic and beautiful thing. Purr, purr, purr. And like, I'm feeling this sense of freedom right now because I feel a weight has been lifted. I lifted it myself. I unveiled myself because I didn't realize how much pressure I was putting on me, how much I was telling myself that if you're not creating, if you're not doing this, if you're not showing up as the person you were and people liked all the time, if you're not showing up as that, no one's gonna like you anymore. You're not gonna be accepted. You're not gonna be successful. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Because I should be accepted for simply being who I am. And who I am isn't gonna change, but it's gonna show more and more and more. The more that I evolve, the more that I grow, the more open that I am to these changes, the more authentic I'm gonna express, the more authentic I'm gonna feel. And it's gonna feel different, and it's gonna look different all of the time. Like, if you look back at all my videos and pictures, I'm literally a completely different expression of myself every season, every year. I'm like, okay. But that is literally a perfect example of evolution. That even though I have evolved and those points of healing have changed, and in terms of my expression of self, I'm still me. And I'm still here, and I'm still loving, and I'm still nurturing, and I'm still carrying this energy of, like, I don't know, magic. And it's so beautiful. And I feel like I sometimes feel so restricted to express this energy around the people who are closest to me, because I'm like, well, I just feel that you might not accept that, or I feel that you might not be comfortable with that. And that's such a limiting belief to have. If someone is not comfortable with you coming out as your most authentic self, then that has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. And I'm saying this literally to myself. Don't take it personally. Because I've even been in the shoes of someone who didn't feel comfortable around someone else who's being authentic, simply because I didn't feel that I was comfortable with myself being authentic. And so I was projecting that sense of jealousy and envy onto that person. And now being on the receiving end as well, it's like, wow, like, you can really start to realize that things are really not that personal. Like, the projections, expectations that people throw on you, they don't matter. They don't matter. I mean, yeah, observe it, pay attention to it so that you understand, well, in what spaces should I invest more of my energy and my focus? Because investing your energy and focus into a space where you are not being accepted, where you are not acknowledged and celebrated for your evolution and your growth, that's not worth it. You know, you're pouring water into a drain. You're not pouring your water into a well or a fountain, into a drain. It's going to disappear and it's not coming back. And it's something I've been learning to distinguish between my personal projection and other people's projections. Like, I feel like sometimes I try to embody what someone else expects me to be. I try to embody how they see me, and it feels draining, and it feels like it's just not me. And it's because I'm forgetting who I am to the core in those moments. And so in those moments of chaos, again, I'm gonna say this again a million times. In those moments of chaos, in those moments of heavy emotions and confusion and overwhelming energies, stop and remember who you are and define who you are. You decide who you will be, okay? Not society, not the government, not your money, not your job, not your parents, not your family, nothing, not even your children. You define who you will be. You define how you will show up. If you're in a role of being a parent, that doesn't mean that you have to give up on yourself. That doesn't mean that you're no longer growing. That doesn't mean that you have to, sacrifice your personal life, because this is your personal life. The role that you're stepping into, it's meant to teach you more so that you can reveal more of your most authentic self. Not to deplete it, not to water it down, not to change it or mold it into something that it's not. No, you will always be organic. Meaning you could be molded into whatever the hell you want to be molded into. Okay? It doesn't matter what role or position you're playing. What matters is who you decide you are. Okay? So if you want to embody this energy of self-love and appreciation and confidence and do 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 day, then you can do that. But you have to claim that yourself. Don't wait for other people to define that or tell you or validate that for you. You have to excuse me, burp confirmation. You have to decide for yourself that, you know what, I am more than my emotions. I'm more than my circumstances. I'm more than these limited beliefs. I'm more than these limited circumstances, because you are limitless. You are an organic being. You're not meant to fit a mold. You're not meant to be a perfect shape, a square, a triangle, a circle, whatever. You're organic. You are free flowing. Because as we are evolving, more of our true self is being revealed. Okay? So I just wanted to sit down and come back. We're back, my beautiful, beautiful family. And it feels so good. It feels so good. Like, let's just take a moment of appreciation. If you're watching the video, I'm like beaming right now. A beaming sunbeam right now. And I'm super grateful that I've evolved enough to be able to hold that sense of awareness that, hey, I'm okay. Like earlier I was feeling so confused and so many emotions. So I literally sat outside with my baby and I just talked to God, to the birds, to the trees, to the wind, whatever was listening. And I said, like, hey, like, I feel that I don't understand where I am right now. And I sat and I questioned and I literally asked aloud, like vocally I asked, like, where am I right now? What are you trying to teach me? And I swear to you, yo, I'm clairaudient, so I receive messages through my ears. Like I can hear them. And my most highest self came through and said, like, we are teaching you patience. We are teaching you that you are not running out of time, because time does not matter. We are teaching you that you are still you are still valuable, even when you're not constantly working and creating. And that is exactly what inspired me to create this video. Because I allowed myself to sit in these emotions. I allowed myself to sit in this uncomfortable space. I allowed myself to question myself and question God and question the energies that are flowing through me. I allowed myself to be curious, not to judge. Yeah, I was still feeling like crap, but I didn't judge myself. I didn't say, oh my gosh, I'm terrible, I'm not gonna be successful, all these things. No. Because in my core self, my core values, my core beliefs, I know that I'm success. I know that I'm abundance. I know that I'm more than enough. And I'm implementing that idea and that definition every single day. And every single time I get those thoughts again where it's like, you're not enough, you're not going to be able to do this is too much for you. I'm like, you know what? I acknowledge you. I hear you. I'm going to love you, but I'm not going to accept that. Because I know that that's not true. That's not my reality. I create my reality. I decide who I'm going to be. I decide what kind of life I'm going to live. So yeah, I'm a single parent now. And it's not what I had in mind. But I know that I'm deserving of a family. I know that my son is deserving of a good father figure. I know that I'm deserving of a good partner. So I know that's going to happen. I don't know how, when, where, or what. But I know that, and that is a core belief, because I know that I'm valuable. I know that we are deserving of good things. So regardless of the thoughts and the circumstances and the experiences that I'm having right now, I know that deep down, I am deserving of good things. So good things are going to happen to me. It's just not up to me, right? So that's something I have to constantly remind myself. Like when it comes to career, I don't want a 9 to 5 job. And I don't think I'm ever going to get one again. Like, to be honest. I mean, if God says, hey, you need to make that little sacrifice, then we're going to do that. But I don't think I will, because I want to invest in myself. I want to invest in my mind, in my artistry. I want to invest in creating platforms of communities so that we can all inspire each other. That is what I'm investing my time into. And yes, I don't know if the money's going to come in or how much, but in my core self, I believe and I know that I'm deserving of living a luxurious and free life. I'm deserving of financial freedom. I know that and I feel that and I believe that so deeply that even in those moments where I look at my bank account one day and I'm like, wow, like we could be doing a little better. I remind myself like, hey, this is not my reality, because my reality is my internal world. My reality is that I am deserving of financial freedom and I am going to be a fucking millionaire. Shit, billionaire, maybe. We'll see. And I'm working towards that. I know that and I believe that so much that that money still be coming in. I'm like, hey, stop playing. But I'm investing my energy and my focus. Ooh, sometimes, most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I dilly-dally, but I'm investing my time and focus and believing that good things are possible and allowing myself to take, whether it's tiny little baby steps or an idea or writing an idea down or just thinking and allowing myself to brainstorm. I know and I believe that is one step closer to that $1 million idea. That is one step closer to my luxury life. That is one step closer to having my ideal family. That is one step closer to having my ideal body. That's one step closer to having a beautiful life. Beautiful life that I already have, but more in the 3D. Because internally I feel like I've been creating such a beautiful environment for myself internally. And whoa, moments of realization right on the spot. I just realized that in my last podcast episode, wow, hold up. Oh my gosh, I was talking about not feeling comfortable in my environment and wanting to create a better environment for myself. I've done that without even having to move. Wow, hold up. Let's hold this space. Because sometimes the things that we manifest, the things that we feel we need, are so much deeper and more meaningful than we might imagine. And so they're going to come up in different forms. So when I was saying I didn't feel comfortable in my environment, I want to create a new environment for myself. And I would pray every single night, like, God, please, allow me the space to feel comfortable, to grow, to create in. I'm doing that now. And I didn't even have to move from my actual physical environment, but my internal environment has changed. My internal environment has evolved. My internal environment has blossomed, and it feels more comfortable for me because I feel safer within myself. I feel safe enough to question things now. I feel safe enough to feel heavy emotions and go through confusing and uncomfortable experiences and still feel safe enough in myself to stay and not run away and not judge myself and not ridicule or feel negative towards myself. And that's such a beautiful thing. And I didn't even realize that until literally now, that I have manifested a safer environment for me. Whether physically or not, it's here because I feel it. And that is when your actual 3D manifestations come true, is when you literally embody that energy. To manifest that lifestyle of richness and luxury and comfort and freedom, you need to embody that. You need to believe in yourself so much that no matter where you are or what numbers are in your bank account or who's around you, you still feel that, yes, I'm deserving of this. I know it's gonna happen. You know so well it's gonna happen that literally there can't be any other any other fucking outcome. I was like, wait, what's the word? There can literally be no other outcome because you believe it so much. No matter what comes towards you, I am rich. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to live a beautiful life. I deserve to have a beautiful family. No matter what is hitting me, no matter where I am, no matter who tells me what, no matter what I'm feeling, no matter what judgments I'm meeting, no matter what expectations are thrown, I know I can and I know I will. And that is how you will, because you are becoming that. You are now applying that to the core of the I am, the core of who you truly are. Okay? Let's just sit a moment because I feel like I've been talking I've been talking so much, which I actually love to sit and talk about these things. Like, I really want to open the space, and I'm going to say this aloud so that we can really manifest it together. Um, to actually sit with people, with like-minded people, and sit and have these conversations about these experiences and healing and the unseen. Let's talk about things that are unseen. Like, I'm the type of person where I feel like a lot of people might think I'm stuck up. Where I'm like, like, I don't know, like cocky or something, because I can't just sit and have a conversation about anything. Like, I can't sit and have a conversation about careers or money or like regular 3D jobs or any of these things that are just so surface. Like, I don't, it just doesn't intrigue me. I like talking about things that are deep, like deep as fuck. I like talking about healing and generational curses and trauma and the psyche and everything internal, and let's talk about space and aliens and things that are just out of the box. That is my kind of conversation. And I feel like I don't engage with people who are always talking about superficial things, because it just doesn't intrigue me. And so that's not the kind of conversation I like to invest my energy into. So I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. That, I avoid conversations with these people, literally, because I'm like, yo, like, I feel depleted after having those kind of conversations. I feel watered down because it's like, I don't actually care too much about these things, like, I care about what's behind these things. Like, we can talk about money in an energetic level. Like, let's talk about what's deeper within money. Let's talk about what's deeper within modern slavery, like jobs. Let's get deeper. That is my kind of conversation. That is what hooks me up, and we could sit and talk for hours and hours and hours, like I am right now. I can just sit and talk about it forever, because that is what intrigues me. My mind is naturally curious about things that are never really talked about that much, about things that are outside of that box. And I really love that. And for so long, I judged myself because, some of my family members are more like, they tap into spirituality and things like that, but they don't go as deep within it as I would, so sometimes I don't really feel comfortable to sit with my family members and talk about things like this, because I feel like they're gonna look at me crazy and be like, what are you talking about? And so I don't really conversate too much and too deeply and for long hours with them, because that's just, I don't feel that my energy aligns with that, and I would judge myself for that, because I'm like, damn, like, you're being so rude. Like, I was taught that you have to like, say hi to your family members when you come in. You have to open and say the conversation, and you have to listen to them all of the time. And it's like, I don't want to listen about all of these like materialistic things, because honestly, I don't really care too much about it. And that might be rude to say, but that's genuinely how I feel. Like, that's just not what I align with. And I would judge myself so much, because I'm like, damn, like, you're being rude, like, you suck. And I would force myself to sit and listen to these conversations. And every time the conversations ended, for one, I barely said anything, because I'm like, my mind is not even running right now. Like, you're not turning any of my wheels with what you're talking about. And two, it's just I'm feeding myself information about things that don't really drive me. So I'm putting the wrong gas into my car, And that's how you have to look at it sometimes. It's okay for you to feel like, you know what, I don't want to share my energy with everyone. And that's the kind of person that I am. I don't share my energy with everyone, which is ironic to say, because I literally have social platforms. But it's like, when it comes to social platforms, I'm more in control of what I'm talking about. and whoever sees it, I don't really care too much about that. I'm more in control of who I respond to and stuff like that. And yeah, but in person it's like okay, bye. But yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get too far off track because I want to keep the message of this episode as is, okay? So I think we're going to end it here. And I'm really, I feel very satisfied and grateful with being able to have this space to talk about these things, you know, and have, excuse me, have like-minded people to connect with. And I love you guys so much. So I thank you for making it this long. Dang, it's been like what, over 40 minutes? Period. So thank you. Again, I do want to remind you guys that I am also recording a video here. If you're watching the video, hey, how are you? And if you can't see the video, I do repost it on my YouTube as well. It should be, I might have to remind myself, it should be under Phoenix Healing Podcast. So if you look that up, you might find them. I can't be completely sure because I haven't posted an episode in quite a bit. But yeah, I'll still have my link tree linked in the bio of whatever you're listening to and or listening from. And yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for existing. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate all that you bring to the table, and I love you so much. And yeah, I will see you when I see you. Peace.